Testing 1 2. Testing. Microphone testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
To whom the Lord swore that he would not show them the land which the Lord had sworn to their fathers that he would give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. Then Joshua circumcised their sons, whom he raised up in their place, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not been circumcised on the way. So it was then when they had finished circumcising all the people that they stayed in their places in the camp till they were healed. Circumcision.
No, God demanded this of Abraham and his entire family. Why? A sign of obedience. To set them apart from the world around them. Okay? Makes sense to me. Now, because all of the Israelites who had come out of Egypt in the desert 40 years, they all died there, except for their children. All the adults were gone. The circumcision had not continued. So, God has now commanded Joshua to reinstate it. Everybody among the Israelites who was a male and a fighter, a warrior, had to be circumcised. So the question you ask is why? Because God wants a sign. These are His people. It's on. Okay. It establishes a relationship between God and His people. Okay? So, when they had finished circumcising all the people, they stayed in their places in the camp till they were healed. All right? Next, we need to read verses 9 through 12. This had to come in here because not many of us could tell the answer to this question. You will? Okay. Where's the mic? You're doing 9 through 12.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal, unto this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month, at even the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes, and parched corn in the self-same day. And the manna ceased on the morrow, after they had eaten of all the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year.
Ooh, would you read verse 12 again? This is one of those trivia questions. Could anybody answer this? Not yet. Could anybody have answered this before you read that verse? Verse 12, please.
And the manna ceased on the morrow, after they had eaten of the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year.
God gave them food enough to get across the desert, and plus 40 years.
But he concluded it with Passover.
With the Passover.
which is so significant. It started there and it finished there as a remembrance of what he's done.
Can you see God working in this?
Oh, yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Now we get to a really cool verse. Verses 13 through 15. Got a volunteer?
While Joshua was near Jericho, he suddenly saw a man standing in front of him, holding a sword. Joshua went up to him and asked, "Are you one of the soldiers or an enemy?" Neither, the man answered. "I am here as a commander of the Lord's army." Joshua threw himself on the ground and worshiped him and said, "I am your servant, sir. What do you want me to do?" And the commander of the Lord's army told him, "Take your sandals off. You are standing on holy ground." And Joshua did as he was told.
I have the New King James Version. Mine reads, when Joshua was by Jericho, he lifted his eyes, looked, behold, a man. And the man, M is capitalized. That makes it special. A man. Stood opposite him with his sword. Joshua went to him and said, "Are you for us or our adversaries?" And the man said, "No." What? That didn't answer my question. I'm still confused. No, but as a commander of the army of the Lord. And then you knew when you got to verse 15, take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy. Where have you heard that from? Woo!
And we know this wasn't an angel because he accepted the worship.
There you go. There you go.
Because angels refuse to be worshipped. So as many others do not worship me. And so we know this is Jesus.
You know it's Jesus. Sunday's lesson in our lesson book. We need to read a couple of these paragraphs into the record. Okay. The first two, and then I need somebody to get ready to read the last paragraph on Sunday's lesson. The Israelites just crossed the Jordan, stepped onto the enemy's ground. At this moment, it's the enemy's ground. God has given it to them. But right now, the people in the promised land are looking at that going, I don't think so. What makes you think you should have access to my home? Israelites just crossed the Jordan, stepped onto the enemy's ground. The fortress of Jericho lies right in front of them. They're looking at it. Okay? And its gates are firmly shut. They know the Israelites walked across the Jordan on dry ground. They're going, they went and hid. They locked all the gates. They're hoping that their fortress can keep them safe. At this point, the people are unaware of any battle strategy. The Israelites ain't got a clue. They're just crossing the river. God said he was. So we're just following Joshua's orders here. They don't know about a battle with that. Whoa. What's even more concerning is that Israel had only slings and spears and arrows. Are they ready for battle? What world?
Not in the physical sense, no.
No. Joshua's questions regarding the identity of the strange visitor received a rather obscure answer. Are you for us or against us? The man said, no. What? I don't know how to take that. The visitor's answer reveals that he is unwilling to step into the categories defined by Joshua. So in other words, I was asked that question once at church. Are you for me or against me? My answer was not no. My answer was, I'm for Jesus. Who are you for? Okay?
This is an indication the commander is there fighting a bigger battle than Joshua realizes.
There you go. There you go. And Joshua immediately, he's smart. He picks up on that immediately. Visitor's answer reveals that he is unwilling to step in to be framed by what Joshua is thinking. In other words, the ultimate question is not whether he's on Joshua's side, rather, is Joshua on his side? So, last paragraph on that page. Somebody willing to read it? One more down. Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
The pre-incarnate Christ appears to Joshua not merely as an ally, nor even as the true commander of Israel's army, but as the commander of the unseen yet real army of angels involved in a far greater conflict than that of Joshua with the Canaanites. Joshua's answer clearly indicates his understanding of the commander's identity. He is equal to God, and Joshua falls prostrate in front of him as a sign of profound respect and worship. Joshua 5:14, Genesis 17:3, 2 Samuel 9:6, 2 Chronicles 20:18. Joshua is ready to receive the battle strategy for a military campaign that is an intrinsic part of a far greater conflict in which the God of hosts himself is involved.
Far greater conflict than what may be evident in facing the walls of Jericho. It's a little bigger than. Okay? Let's look a little bit at the invisible army. Back up in the middle of the page on Sunday, it invites us to read 2 Kings chapter 6. I love this story. 2 Kings chapter 6. Got somebody willing to volunteer to read a few verses out of that? 2 Kings chapter 6. You took the mic. Does that make you the reader?
Yes, I'll read it.
All right, if you will, wait. 2 Kings chapter 6, start in verse 8 and read through to verse 19, including 19.
When the king of Aram was at war with Israel, he would confer with his officers and say, "We will mobilize our forces at such and such a place." But immediately Elisha, the man of God, would warn the king of Israel, "Do not go near that place, for the Arameans are planning to mobilize their troops there." So the king of Israel would send word to the place indicated by the man of God. Time and time again, Elisha warned the king so that he would be on alert there. The king of Aram became very upset over this. He called his officers together and demanded, "Which of you is the traitor? Who has been informing the king of Israel of my plans?" "It's not us, my lord the king," one of the officers replied. "Elisha, the prophet in Israel, tells the king of Israel even the words you speak in privacy of your bedroom."
Ain't that a trip?
"Go and find out where he is," the king commanded, "so I can send troops to seize him." And the report came back, "Elijah is at Dothan." So one night the king of Aram sent a great army with many chariots and horses to surround the city. When the servant of the man of God got up early the next morning and went outside, there were troops, horses, and chariots everywhere. "O sir, what will we do?" the young man cried to Elisha. "Don't be afraid," Elisha told him, "for there are more on our side than on theirs." Then Elisha prayed, "O Lord, open his eyes and let him see." The Lord opened the young man's eyes, and when he looked up, he saw that the hillside around Elisha was filled with horses and chariots of fire. As the Armenian army advanced towards him, Elisha prayed, "O Lord, please make them blind." So the Lord struck them with blindness, as Elisha had asked. Then Elisha went out and told them, "You have come the wrong way. This isn't the right city. Follow me. I will take you to the man you're looking for." And he led them to the city of Samaria. That's 19.
That works. Wow. Wow. So, Elisha has an assistant. I don't know whether he was just a servant or whether he was an apprentice or what. But he looks out the window at dawn the next day and his eyes bug out. He's going to look at the army. We're going to die. And Elisha says, "Lord, let the boy see." God lets him see. Can you imagine? There are so many angels, chariots of fire. And obviously Elisha can see this. It's no news to him. And the boy is standing there going, "I don't think we have anything to worry about. This is cool." So what does Elisha do? He asks the Lord to make the Syrian army, Iranian army, blind, so they can't see where they're going. And then he steps out there and says, "I'll take you where you want to go." And he leads them down a road in the wrong direction and takes them to the city of Samaria and going, "Bye." Tell me if God is there.
And he doesn't even slaughter them.
No,
He just
no,
gives mercy and grace.
no. He just walks away. He just walks away. Who was in charge of that one? Was that God? That was God. God has his ways of doing things. So, when Jesus shows up as the commander of the heavenly army, and Joshua sees him, and Jesus said, "Neither one. I'm here because we got some business to take care of." Joshua knew immediately, and he was down on his. He didn't have any fear after that. Yes, sir.
If we read further, I don't know if you plan to read further on in the.
On Elisha.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead and read through 23 if you want to.
Yeah, I was just about to say. So reading with the New King
It's
James.
fun.
Huh?
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Now, when the king of Israel saw them, he said to Elisha, "My father, shall I kill them? Shall I kill them?" But he answered, "You shall not kill them. Would you kill those whom you have taken captive with your sword and your bow? Set food and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master." Then he prepared a great feast for them, and after they ate and drank, he sent them away, and they went to their masters. So the band of raiders came no more into the land of Israel. And I was matching it to the question you asked earlier. This shows that God can conquer without having to slaughter.
There you go.
You know, just by throwing his enemy a feast. You know that they no longer went into the land of Israel. So, that's a good take.
It is. He doesn't kill if it isn't necessary. But That would be a good time for me to read this. Turn to Monday's lesson, we got some more reading to do. But let me read you a couple of paragraphs from the supplemental book. So, I'm reading from page 43. Since the emergence of sin in the universe, when did sin emerge in the universe? Satan and Adam and Eve. Okay? Violence becomes an inevitable consequence when the rebellious party clings to its supposed rights. Okay?
Well, Satan had dominion over this earth here because of Adam and Eve.
Yes.
But sin was already started, and he was roaming around at that point. Yes, and so that's why he's here.
Okay. Sin within himself, he's carrying it around, and he didn't infect us until Adam and Eve. All right, I'll take that. I'll take that. Violence becomes an inevitable consequence when that sinful party clings to its supposed rights. Okay? God, in his intrinsic, immutable, eternal nature, cannot deny who he is. Therefore, the choice lies between God relinquishing his essential character. We all know what that is. Is he going to give that up to a rebellious creature? Can we expect our God to give up his power and the love that runs this universe? That's another subject altogether. And his mercy and everything else. Can we expect him to give that all away to somebody who's pitching a fit? The answer is no. Yes, sir.
I wanted to pitch this concept just to what you said prior, about God not necessarily slaughtering people. In many cases, don't people more so kill themselves? Like, for example, you're seeing God's people go all over the place. They're conquering armies. They're doing things that no man's ever seen before happen, through the strength of God or whatever the case may be, or God doing it directly. You can opt to stay out of the way, to change your ways, to do whatever. But a lot of these people are still saying, you know what, I saw that, but we're not them, so we're going to try our luck. And I think the difference between a slaughter and a fight is, and going back to the story we just covered, if I had all of you captive, your hands are bound or you're restricted or whatever, and I go through and kill you, you've been slaughtered. But if you have an opportunity to fight and best me, even if the totality of the